Welcome to this last video in the rigging series. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this part of this character series up with just showing you just a couple more things that are worth noting. Mainly, I want to take a look real quick. If we bring our biped out, and I can see that as it stands right now, the fingers of my biped somehow have gotten misplaced outside of the actual finger. And obviously, if I were to try and fix this at the moment, let's bring the rig out. And let's say if I wanted to try and move this finger to position the bone back inside the hand, obviously the bone is driving the hand, so there's no way to get it back inside. We could destroy the skin and put it back on again and redo all the work that we've done, or we could do a nice little trick that's really helpful for situations like this, because you never know when your bones will get moved, altered, or what have you, and you need to kind of return back to the pose that they were originally in. And like you can see right here, I need to move these bones back inside the fingers. So all we have to do is take a look at our skin modifier, and if we get down to let's go down to the advanced parameters, you see that we have a few options here, and we have the first one right here is just always deform, and with this checked, obviously you get that it's always going to be deforming the skin modifier based on the bones that are driving it. But if we uncheck it, we can go in and actually position our bones like you can see here. Get this actually inside like so, and we can do that for all of them. Go ahead and make that see-through for the time being. Pull that in there. Looks good to me. And now if we go back and check always deform, as you see, it picks up where it left off, and our fingers are now going to be deforming correctly because we have fixed the placement of the bones underneath. So that's really a useful trick in case things ever get messed up. And one more final thing that we can do, I'm going to hide our bones or the mesh for a second. I did another little quick animation just to verify everything was looking pretty good. And when I was referring earlier to this position, because this position that the character's in right now is the position that is the skin is initialized from. But if, let's say, if we were to delete our keyframes at this frame right here, this is the position he would now be in. Just like biped has figure mode, since these are bones that we're using, or actually geometry that we're using as bones, they don't have the ability to enter figure mode, in and out of figure mode like biped did. But that doesn't mean that we can't still have that kind of control. And if I select all the rig, and let's see where they moved it. And under animation, we have set as skin pose, assume skin pose, and obviously skin pose mode. So we'll go ahead and say set as skin pose. Yes, we really want to set the skin pose. Okay, so now if let's say I'm going to go ahead and save a copy of my file real quick. Okay, so let's say we get here to frame 160, or I'll say here, and I'm going to delete all the keyframes. Okay, so he has no keyframes, and he's officially back to, or he is officially without any keyframes, and he is not in his original position. Assume skin pose. Well, select them all. Assume skin pose, and he pops back, and that will always be there until you overwrite that skin pose. So it's definitely a useful trick. Help get you out of some tricky situations, I guarantee you. So I'm gonna bring the body back out, and another thing that you need to make sure that you are doing and making sure that you understand with your skin, once you have once you're happy with it and you are pleased with the kind of deformation that you're getting, make sure that you come down here under the advanced parameters and save the skin. And you see that it's going to save the envelopes. So go ahead and just call this new guy skin. So if for whatever reason you ever deleted the skin, or something ever happened to it, if let me say the file got corrupted, you can always add a new skin and then load in the new guy skin. I guess it would help if I added. So anyway, you get the picture. Add them all. And now when we load, we see that it's going to be looking for all the same ones. I can't make this window any smaller for you. So now the envelopes are set the same way that they were before. So that's something else that's useful. Obviously, is being able to save the position of the biped or your bones, and to be able to save and load the actual skin, the weighting of the envelopes and everything. And with that, I think that we're done with rigging for this character here. We've covered all the controls, how to set the rig up, and it looks like, let's go back to this one. So I think what happened with that last file, I didn't include all the helpers and IK, so I'm pretty sure. Let's go back. Okay, so this was before. Okay, so it still worked at this point. So I'm going to try this again. I'm going to save it. Yes, replace it. Okay, well, I'm not seeing any geometry in the list. Okay, so we saved it. Going to delete it. Try this again, make sure this works. We're going to add. Let's see, it's adding the spheres. So let's remove. Because these guys were not in the list of the other one. Oh, because we picked add geometry and those spheres are in the list. Alright. So load. And now it looks like our lists are identical. Match by name. Hit OK. And there we go. So now it's back to normal. That's what the problem was. When I added, and remember we checked just the display geometry, well, spheres are geometry. And okay, so that's what the problem was. Alright, so like I said, this is going to go ahead and wrap up the rigging portion. And while this is not all we can do, all we should do for a rig, this is really kind of a base starting point for a rig for a character like this. Everything's working pretty good, and we're now ready to move to the next step, which would be actually getting. Let's put on another thing too is make sure that your turbo smooth goes on after your skin, because with it, if we were to put it below it, the skin would then, you would have to weight all the vertices that the turbo smooth is creating versus the ones that are there on the mesh. So make sure it's edible poly, then skin, then turbo smooth for the final touches. And with that, we're going to end this section of our character series on rigging. And now we're ready to move on to creating morph targets, and then we will I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up after the morph targets. Oh yeah, and we still got to do the hair. So we will go ahead and end here, and I hope that this has given you a pretty good foundation of how to start animating your characters, how to model it, rig it, and get it to the place where we're ready to animate. And just like everything else, it's just something that you really got to stick with and do a lot and get a lot of practice on until you really kind of understand the best way to approach things. But a lot of it is just trial and error. And I hope that you'll kind of get that out of what you've learned here. I know that it's been fun doing this, getting him to this point. So we'll see you in the next video where we take a look at actually doing the morph targets and making our character talk. So thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.